You wake up, and the fear is already there. Before your eyes are fully open, before your feet touch the floor, your chest is tight and your mind is racing toward everything that could go wrong today. There is a weight on you, and it has a name, and the name is dread. So you reach for the phone, you grab it in the dark, and you start scrolling. Not because you want to, but because you are running. You are trying to outrun the feeling in your own chest. And the fear smiles because it just won. It owns the first thing you touched. It owns the first hour. And the first hour decides who rules your day, you or your fear. By the end of this, you will hold the 8 rituals that make fear bow, not someday, tomorrow morning. Understand this before anything else. Fear is not waiting for you in the boardroom or the doctor's office or the hard conversation. Fear is waiting for you in bed. It attacks at the weakest hour, when you are soft and slow and unguarded. The warrior knew this 1,000 years ago. He knew the battle is not won at noon. It is won at dawn, in the dark, in the cold, in the silence, before the world is even awake to watch. He did not wait to feel brave. He performed small acts that made bravery the only outcome. That is what you are about to learn. 8 small acts, each one is a blade against the same enemy. If these words are reaching something real in you, let that be enough of a reason to leave a quiet sign that you passed through here. A like costs you nothing and helps another tired soul find this in their own dark morning. If one ritual lands, say which one in a comment, because someone behind you needs to hear that it can be done. And if you want more of this, subscribing keeps the door open. No pressure, only an invitation to the work. So here is how this works. 8 rituals. All of them fit inside the first hour after you wake, before the world can reach you. None of them require money, or special skill, or a single thing you do not already have. Each one is small enough to start tomorrow, and simple enough that you will remember it without trying. And each one strikes at the same enemy from a different angle, so that by the time the hour is over, fear has been beaten back from every side. Do not try to be perfect with them. Do not try to do all 8 flawlessly on the first morning. Choose one, begin, and let the others follow as they will. The goal is not a perfect morning. The goal is a morning that belongs to you instead of to your fear. Start there. Start small. Start tomorrow. The first ritual is this. Rise before the world. Open your eyes and get up while it is still dark and quiet and nothing is asking anything of you. The warrior rose before the sun, not because someone forced him, but because he refused to let the day begin without him. He wanted the first move. He wanted to greet the dark on his feet, not on his back. There is a kind of power in being awake when the world is asleep. The phone is silent. The messages have not come. The demands have not started. For one stretch of time, the day belongs to you and no one else. This is you, right now. You hit the snooze, and you lie there, and you let the fear marinate. Every extra minute in that bed is a minute fear gets to whisper. It tells you the day is too big. It tells you that you are too small. It builds its case while you are too tired to argue back. And when you finally drag yourself up late, rushed, already behind, you have handed fear the victory before your feet hit the floor. You started the day losing. You started the day as prey. So here is the small action for tomorrow. Set the alarm 15 minutes earlier than you need, not an hour. Not some heroic number you will abandon by Thursday, 15 minutes. And when it rings, the rule is simple. Your feet hit the floor before your mind starts talking. You do not negotiate. You do not check the screen. You stand up in the dark, and you let the act of standing be your first answer to fear. Standing is a statement. It says the day has a master, and the master is you. The reason this works is older than any of us. Fear loves the horizontal. It loves you flat and still and helpless. The moment you are vertical, something shifts in the body and in the mind. Blood moves. Posture changes. You are no longer a thing the day happens to. You are a person who has chosen to meet it. Rising early is not about productivity. It is about ownership. You are claiming the hour that fear wanted to steal. The warrior understood that the first decision of the day sets the tone for every decision after it. Win the first one, and the next becomes easier. Lose the first one, and you spend the whole day trying to catch up to your own life. So you make the first decision a victory. You rise, small, unglamorous, unwatched, but it is the foundation everything else stands on. Rise before the world wakes, and you wake as its owner. And notice how small the surrender really is. A snooze button. 9 more minutes. It feels like nothing, and that is exactly why it is so dangerous. Fear never asks you to surrender everything at once. It asks for 9 minutes. Then 9 more. It trains you, morning by morning, to break the small promises you make to yourself. And a man who cannot keep the smallest promise to himself at dawn will not trust himself when the stakes are high at noon. That lost self-trust is the real cost, not the lost sleep. Every time you rise on the first ring, you prove to yourself that your word means something. Every time you snooze, you teach yourself that your word is cheap, that you say one thing and do another, that you cannot be relied upon even by your own self. The world that sleeps late is quietly ruled by the few who rose early and did the small, hard thing, while everyone else lay in the dark negotiating with their fear. Be one of the few. The negotiation is the trap. There is nothing to discuss. The alarm rings and you rise, and the first battle of the day is already won. The second ritual is cold water. The warrior did not ease into his day with comfort. He met it with cold. He poured cold water over his head and his shoulders, or he stepped into a cold stream, and he let the shock burn away the fog of sleep. It was not punishment. It was a wake-up to the whole body and the whole spirit at once. Cold has a strange honesty to it. It does not let you lie to yourself. It does not let you stay half asleep and half afraid. It snaps you fully into the present moment, which is the only place fear cannot follow you. This is you, right now. You step into a warm shower and you stand there comforted while your mind keeps spinning the same anxious loop it spun in bed. The warm water soothes the body, but it never wakes the spirit. You come out softer than you went in. Comfort feels good and asks for more comfort. And fear hides easily in a soft and comfortable morning. You cannot soothe your way past dread. You have to shock your way through it. So here is the small action for tomorrow. At the end of your shower, turn the water to cold for 30 seconds. Just the end. You do not need an ice bath. You do not need to be a hero. 30 seconds of cold at the close, and you stand in it and you breathe slow while every nerve screams to escape. You do not escape. You stay. Because that is the whole lesson in a single moment. The fear says run, and you choose to stay, and you teach your body who is in charge. When you can stand in cold water on purpose, the cold meeting in the afternoon stops feeling so cold. You already practiced courage at dawn. This is what the warrior knew that you were about to learn in your own bathroom. Discomfort chosen is power. Discomfort avoided is weakness dressed as comfort. Every time you choose the harder, colder, sharper path on purpose, you are training the deepest part of yourself to stop flinching. And a man who has stopped flinching at dawn does not flinch so easily at noon. The cold is a teacher, and the lesson is short. You can do hard things on purpose. You proved it before breakfast. The body remembers what the mind forgets. By the time the real challenge of the day arrives, your mind may be nervous, but your body has already been somewhere harder this morning. It has stood in the cold and survived. That memory lives in you. It steadies you when the stakes are real. The warrior did not feel fearless because he was born without fear. He felt steady because he had already won a small fight with himself that morning, and he carried that small win like armor. And here is the deeper thing the cold teaches you. When the icy water hits, your body floods with alarm. The heart slams. The breath goes shallow and fast. Every instinct screams at you to get out now. Sit with that for a moment, because that alarm is the exact same alarm fear sends through you before a hard conversation, before a frightening decision, before any moment that truly matters. Same racing heart, same shallow breath, same voice screaming to escape. So when you stand in the cold and slow your breathing and refuse to run, you are doing far more than waking the body. You are training your own nervous system to stay calm while every alarm bell rings at once. You are teaching yourself, in your own skin, that the alarm is not a command. It is only a feeling, and a feeling can be breathed through. Most people spend their whole lives obeying that alarm, fleeing the moment their heart starts to pound. You are learning to recognize it and stand anyway. Master the cold at dawn, and you will feel that same alarm later in the day, and you will not obey it. You will breathe. You will stay. You will act while it screams. And that is the whole of courage. The third ritual is stillness. Before the day floods in, the warrior sat in silence and did nothing but breathe. No movement, no task, just sitting with himself and watching the breath go in and out. To a busy mind, this looks like wasted time. It is the opposite. It is the moment he took his own mind back from the noise. Fear feeds on a racing mind. It needs speed. It needs 100 thoughts crashing into each other so it can hide in the chaos. Stillness starves it. When you slow down on purpose, fear has nowhere left to hide. This is you, right now. The second you wake, your mind is a stampede. Bills, messages. That thing you said, that thing you did not do, the meeting, the money, the long list of everything you are behind on. You let the stampede run, and you call it thinking, but it is not thinking. It is panic wearing a suit. You never sit still long enough to let it settle. You jump straight from the racing mind in bed to the racing screen in your hand, and the stampede never stops. It just changes its clothes. So here is the small action for tomorrow. After you rise, sit down somewhere quiet for 2 minutes, not 20. 2. Set your back straight and put your hands on your knees and close your eyes. And all you do is breathe and count. In for 4, out for 4. When a fearful thought comes, and it will come, you do not fight it. You just return to the count. In for 4, out for 4. 2 minutes of this, and you have done something most people never do. You have sat with your own fear without running from it. That is the secret the warrior knew. You do not defeat fear by escaping it. You defeat it by sitting with it until it loses its grip. Every time you reach for the phone, you are telling fear it is too strong to face. Every time you sit still and breathe through it, you are telling fear you are not afraid to look at it. And fear cannot survive being looked at calmly. It needs you to flinch. It needs you to run. When you sit there steady and breathing, you take away the only weapon it ever had. Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is the deepest strength there is. Any frightened animal can run. Only a master can sit calm in the middle of the storm and breathe. The warrior who could be still in the dark, alone with his own mind, was a man no enemy could rattle. You are building that same stillness in 2 minutes at dawn. A still mind is a fortress. The arrows of the day still come, but they land on stone instead of skin. That is what you are building, one slow breath at a time. There is a space the warrior guarded above all others, the space between what happens to you and how you answer it. Most people have no space at all. Something frightening happens, and they react in an instant, swept away before they ever get the chance to choose. But in those 2 still minutes at dawn, you are widening that space on purpose. You are practicing the pause. You are learning to feel the fear rise in your chest and take one slow breath before you move, instead of being yanked around by every alarm that fires inside you. That pause is where all your freedom lives. In the pause, you stop being a puppet of your own fear and become a person who chooses his own response. The world cannot give you that space, and the world cannot take it away, because you built it yourself, in the silence, with your own breath, before anyone was awake to interrupt. 2 minutes a day, and slowly the pause grows wide enough to hold even your largest fears without breaking. That is not nothing. In the end, that is everything. The 4th ritual is to face the hardest thing first. The warrior did not save the worst for last. He turned to meet it at the start, while his will was full and his strength was fresh. He knew a simple truth about fear. The longer you wait to face it, the larger it grows. A dreaded thing left until the afternoon does not sit quietly and wait. It feeds on the hours. By the time you finally face it, it has grown from a task into a monster, fattened on a whole day of your dread. This is you, right now. There is one thing on your list you are afraid of. The call you do not want to make. The message you keep not sending. The work you keep walking past. And what do? You do everything else first. You answer the easy emails. You make the coffee. You tidy the desk that did not need tidying. You feed yourself small, false victories all morning, while the real thing sits there growing, and it follows you. It poisons every easy task with the shadow of the hard one you are still avoiding. So here is the small action for tomorrow. Before you touch anything easy, name the one thing you are most afraid to do today. Then do it first, or take the first hard step toward it in the first hour. Make the dreaded call. Send the message your hands do not want to type. Open the file you keep closing. You do not wait until you feel ready, because ready never comes. You move while the fear is loud, and you do it anyway. And the moment it is done, watch what happens to the rest of your day. What happens is freedom. The thing you dreaded held 100 other things hostage. Once you face it, the whole day exhales. The warrior knew that courage is not a feeling you wait for. Courage is a thing you do, and the feeling follows after. He did not stand on the field hoping the fear would leave before he moved. He moved with the fear still in him. And that is the only courage that has ever existed. The brave are not unafraid. The brave act while afraid early before the fear can grow. There is a kind of math to this that you can feel in your own body. A hard thing faced at dawn is small. The same hard thing faced at dusk has eaten 10 hours of your peace. You pay for avoidance in dread, and dread charges interest. So you pay the bill early when it is cheap. You face the hard thing first, and you spend the rest of the day free instead of haunted. One brave act in the first hour buys you a day of lighter shoulders. That is the trade, and it always favors the one who moves early. And know this about avoidance, because it is the hidden cost nobody warns you of. Every time you walk past the hard thing, you are not staying neutral, you are training. You are teaching yourself, one small flinch at a time, that you are the kind of person who runs. And that lesson compounds in the dark. Avoid enough small things, and you slowly become someone who avoids the large ones too, without ever noticing the moment you chose it. But the good news is that it runs the other way just as powerfully. Face one hard thing first, while the day is still young, and a current of momentum begins to move through you. The second hard thing comes easier, because you already proved this morning that you are someone who moves toward fear and not away from it. Courage is not a trait you are born with or born without. It is a habit, built one repetition at a time. And the first repetition of the day is the one that decides what kind of person walks into all the hours after it. Stop for a moment and feel where you are. You are halfway through the 8. Already you can see the shape of it. Rise, and you own the hour. Cold, and you prove you can do hard things. Stillness, and you face the fear without running. The hard thing first, and you rob it of the day. Notice that not one of these asked you to be fearless. Not one asked you to wait until the dread was gone. Every single one is a thing you do while the fear is still there, loud and alive in your chest. That is the whole secret hiding in plain sight. You were never meant to wait for the fear to leave. You were meant to act anyway early before it had the chance to grow. The next 4 rituals only drive that same nail deeper. The 5th ritual is to move the body. The warrior did not begin his day soft and stiff. He trained. He moved through the forms. He worked the body until the blood ran hot and the breath ran deep. He knew that a strong body holds a steady mind, and a sluggish body breeds a frightened one. Fear lives in a slumped posture and shallow breath. It cannot easily survive in a body that is upright, breathing hard, and awake. Motion is the enemy of dread. When the body moves with purpose, the mind follows it into strength. This is you, right now. You wake stiff and heavy, and you carry that heaviness straight into the day. You slump to the kitchen. You slump at the desk. You breathe in shallow little sips. And then you wonder why you feel weak and anxious and small. The body and the mind are not two separate things. A caved-in body builds a caved-in mind. When you spend your morning collapsed, you are training your spirit to collapse with it. Fear does not need to attack a body that is already surrendering. So here is the small action for tomorrow. In the first hour, move for 5 minutes. You do not need a gym. You do not need a plan. 20 push-ups, or a set of squats, or a brisk walk around the block in the cold air. Anything that gets the blood moving and the breath deep and the body upright. 5 minutes is enough to flip the switch. You are not training for strength here, though strength will come. You are training your spirit to start the day rising instead of sinking. Watch what the movement does to the fear. It is hard to feel like prey when your heart is pounding from your own effort. It is hard to feel small when you have just made the body do something hard. The warrior trained at dawn not only for the muscle, but for the message it sent to his own mind. The message was this: I am strong, I am awake, I am ready. Move your body first, and you send that same message to yourself before fear can send its opposite. A body in motion writes a different story than a body in bed. The story fear tells is one of weakness, of being overwhelmed, of being too small for the day. 5 minutes of real movement rewrites it in your own muscle and breath. You feel the strength that was always there but went unused. And a person who feels strong in the body finds it far harder to feel helpless in the mind. You moved. You chose effort. The day is meeting a different person now. There is a chemistry to this you do not have to understand in order to feel. When the body slumps and the breath goes shallow, the mind reads it as danger and quietly floods you with worry. When the body stands tall, when the breath runs deep, when the blood is up and moving, the mind reads safety and strength and steadies itself. Your posture is not merely how you happen to sit. It is a constant message you are sending to your own brain about what kind of day this is going to be. Spend the first hour curled over a small, glowing screen, shoulders caved, breath shallow, and you have told your mind, in a language older than words, to be afraid. Spend that first hour upright and breathing hard and moving with purpose, and you have told it to be ready. The body leads, and the mind follows close behind. So lead the body somewhere strong before fear gets its chance to lead it somewhere small and frightened. Move first, and the mind has little choice but to rise up and meet you. The sixth ritual is to set one intent. The warrior did not march into the day with 1,000 scattered aims. He chose one thing, one purpose to carry, clear and sharp, like a single blade instead of a fistful of broken ones. He knew that a divided mind is a weak mind, and a weak mind is easy ground for fear. When you try to hold everything, you hold nothing, and the overwhelm becomes the very opening fear walks through. One clear intent cuts the fog. It gives the day a spine. This is you, right now. You wake with 100 things screaming for attention and no order to any of them. Everything feels urgent, so nothing gets your full strength. You drift from task to task, half present, pulled in every direction, and the scatter itself feels like anxiety. That is not a busy life. That is a life with no center. And a person with no center is blown around by every fear that passes, because there is nothing solid in him for the day to break against. So here is the small action for tomorrow. Before the noise begins, choose one sentence for your day, one intent. Say it to yourself in the quiet. Today I face what I have been avoiding. Today I keep my word to myself. Today I stay calm no matter what comes. Pick one and let it be the blade you carry. When the day tries to scatter you, you return to that one line. It becomes the center that holds while everything around you spins. The warrior carried one purpose so that when the chaos came, and it always came, he had something to come back to. Fear thrives in confusion. It loses its power against clarity. When you know the one thing you are about for today, the small fears lose their grip because they cannot compete with a clear purpose. You are no longer reacting to 100 threats. You are advancing toward one aim, and a person advancing is much harder to frighten than a person merely defending. One intent does something else too. At the end of the day, it gives you a way to win. A scattered day can never be won because it was never defined. But a day with one clear intent can be measured and met and conquered. You laid the target at dawn, and you struck it by dusk. That small victory stacks on the one before it. This is how a fearless life is built, not in one grand moment, but in a chain of small, clear days, each one aimed and each one won. Understand that one clear intent is not only about what you say yes to, it is just as much about everything you give yourself permission to say no to. When you choose the single thing that matters most today, you free yourself to let the 100 smaller things wait their turn. And that permission is its own kind of armor. So much of your daily fear is nothing more than the panic of trying to hold everything at once. The feeling that all of it is urgent, all of it is on your shoulders, all of it depends on you and depends on you right now. One clear intent cuts that panic in half. It tells you plainly what matters today and, just as importantly, what can safely be ignored until tomorrow. A focused man is a calm man, because focus is the opposite of overwhelm, and overwhelm is the rich, dark soil that fear grows tallest in. Narrow the whole day down to one blade, and there is far less left for the fear to grab hold of. The seventh ritual is gratitude. Before the warrior reached for his sword, he gave thanks for the breath in his chest and the ground beneath his feet. This was not softness, it was strategy of the spirit. He knew that fear and gratitude cannot live in the same heart at the same time. Fear stares at what might be taken from you. Gratitude stares at what you already hold. And the direction you stare in becomes the direction your whole life leans. Look at lack and you live afraid. Look at what you have and the fear loosens its grip. This is you, right now. You wake, and the very first thing your mind does is take inventory of everything wrong. What you lack, what you owe, what you failed at, who has more than you. You begin the day staring straight into a list of threats and losses, and then you wonder why dread is sitting on your chest. You trained your mind to scan for danger before your eyes were even open. Fear did not invade your morning. You invited it in and handed it the first word. So here is the small action for tomorrow. Before you rise, before you reach for anything, name 3 things you are grateful for. Out loud or in the quiet, it does not matter. The breath in your lungs, a roof over your head, a person who loves you, the simple fact that you woke up at all when so many did not. 3 things, 30 seconds. And feel how the weight on your chest shifts when your first thought of the day is fullness instead of lack. You cannot dread a day you are already thankful for. Understand what this does at the deepest level. Fear is a story about the future, about what you might lose. Gratitude is a fact about the present, about what you already have. And a fact is stronger than a story. When you begin the day rooted in what is real and already yours, the fearful stories about what might happen lose their power to move you. You are standing on solid ground. The warrior who gave thanks at dawn was not pretending the danger was gone. He was reminding himself of what he was fighting for. And a man who knows what he is fighting for does not break. There is a quiet strength in gratitude that the loud world has forgotten. It does not deny the hardship. It simply refuses to let the hardship be the whole picture. You can be afraid and grateful at once. And when you are, the gratitude steadies the fear. It gives you something to stand on while you face the hard thing. The warrior gave thanks not because his life was easy, but precisely because it was hard. and the thanks was what kept the hardness from swallowing him. Begin grateful, and you begin unswallowable. And do not wait until you feel grateful before you give thanks, because that is the mistake most people make. Gratitude at dawn is not a warm mood that arrives on its own when life is going well. It is a discipline you perform whether you feel it or not, exactly like the cold and the stillness and the movement before it. You name your 3 things even on the gray and heavy mornings, especially on those mornings, because those are precisely the mornings when fear is loudest and your need for the practice is greatest. You are training the eye of your mind to look first for what is good before it goes hunting for what is wrong. Do this long enough and the eye itself begins to change. You start to notice the fullness automatically, the breath, the roof, the people, the simple gift of another morning, the way you once noticed only the lack and the threat. That changed eye is one of the quietest and most powerful defenses against fear a person can ever build, and you build it in 30 seconds before your feet ever touch the floor. The 8th ritual is silence before noise. The warrior guarded the first hour the way he guarded a gate. He let nothing in until he was ready. No voices, no demands, no flood of other people's words and worries pouring into him before he had set his own mind. He knew the first thoughts of the day are the most powerful because they set the shape of every thought that follows. So he kept them his own. He met the silence before he met the world, and in that silence he became unshakable. This is you, right now. Your eyes open, and your hand is already moving toward the phone. Before your own first thought can form, you pour in 1,000 other voices. The news of every disaster, the lives of strangers who seem to have more, the messages full of demands, the endless scroll designed to keep you anxious and reaching. You let the whole screaming world into your mind before you have even said good morning to yourself. And then you spend the day wondering why you feel so afraid and so small. That phone in the first hour is fear's favorite door. It feeds you 100 reasons to be anxious before your feet hit the floor. It fills you with comparison, which is the thief of every ounce of peace you own. It scatters the mind you were supposed to be gathering. The warrior would never have let an enemy walk through his gate at the weakest hour of the morning. But that is exactly what you do when you reach for the screen before you have armored your own mind. So here is the small action for tomorrow. Keep the phone dark for the first hour. Do not touch the screen until you have done the other rituals. Rise, stand in the cold, sit in the stillness, move the body, set the intent, give the thanks. Let the first hour be silent and yours. Let the world wait. It will still be there at hour 2, but by then you will meet it as a fortress instead of an open gate. The messages can have you later. The first hour belongs to you. Protect that silence like it is sacred, because it is. In that quiet, you hear your own voice instead of the world's. You remember who you are before everyone else tells you who to be. The warrior found his steadiness in that silence, and so will you. A mind that begins the day in stillness is a mind that cannot be easily stampeded later. You set the tone in the quiet, and the tone holds all day. Guard the gate. Keep the first hour silent. Meet the noise only when you are ready to rule it, and be honest with yourself about what is waiting behind that screen. The world on the other side of the glass was built on purpose to keep you anxious, because an anxious mind scrolls longer and buys more and obeys more easily. It feeds you the worst of everything that is happening anywhere on earth, and the polished, edited best of everyone you have ever met. And it sets the two right beside each other so that you always feel behind, always feel lacking, always feel small. That is not an accident or bad luck. It is a machine carefully engineered to harvest your peace, and you hand it your single most precious hour while you are still half asleep and completely defenseless. The warrior would have called that madness. He guarded his gate most fiercely at the weakest hour, not the strongest. So guard yours. Keep the glass dark until you are armored by the other rituals. Then meet that machine later, on your own terms, as a master who chooses what comes in, and never first, as prey who lets everything in. Now hold all 8 together, because this is where the power lives. You rise before the world and claim the hour fear wanted to steal. You stand in the cold and prove you can do hard things on purpose. You sit in stillness and look fear in the eye without flinching. You face the hardest thing first and rob it of the day it wanted to grow. You move the body and write a story of strength in your own muscle. You set one intent and give the day a spine. You give thanks and stand on what is already yours. You guard the silence and meet the world only when you are ready. None of these are large. That is the whole point. Fear expects the grand gesture, the dramatic battle, and it knows you will never keep that up, so it is not afraid of your grand plans. What fear cannot survive is the small thing done every single morning, quietly, whether you feel like it or not. The cold 30 seconds, the 2 still minutes, the 1 hard task, the unbroken silence. These are the blades, and they are small enough to actually carry every day for the rest of your life. Think of it less as 8 separate tasks and more as a single system, where each ritual closes a door that fear likes to come through. Rising early shuts the door of the wasted, dread-soaked morning. The cold shuts the door of the comfort that fear hides inside. Stillness shuts the door of the racing mind. Facing the hard thing shuts the door of the monster that grows all day. Movement shuts the door of the collapsed and frightened body. The single intent shuts the door of scattered overwhelm. Gratitude shuts the door of lack and comparison. And the guarded silence shuts the loudest door of all, the screen that pours the anxious world straight into your unguarded mind. 8 doors. Fear needs only one of them left open to walk in and take your whole day. So you close them, one by one every morning in the dark before it wakes. That is the entire strategy. It is not complicated. It is just unbroken. And unbroken is the one thing fear has never once been able to outlast. This is you, right now. You have a choice waiting for you tomorrow morning, in the dark, before the world wakes. You can reach for the phone and hand the day to your fear, the way you have 1,000 times. Or you can put your feet on the floor and begin the work. No one will see it. No one will applaud. The whole battle happens in an hour nobody is watching. But that hidden hour is where your entire life is quietly decided, one morning at a time. Understand the loop you have been living in and how it breaks. The fear ran your mornings, and because it ran your mornings, it ran your days. And because it ran your days, it ran your life. The whole tower was built on that first weak hour, so you do not have to conquer your whole life at once. That was always too big, and the bigness was the trap. You only have to conquer the first hour. Win the hour, and the day bends to follow. Win the days, and the life bends to follow them. Picture the man you become after 100 such mornings. He wakes, and there is no dread, because dread cannot take root in a mind that meets it head-on at dawn. He rises before the world. He stands in the cold without flinching. He sits in his own stillness like a stone in a river. He faces the hard thing while it is still small. He moves, he aims, he gives thanks, he guards his silence. And by the time the world wakes and comes at him with all its noise, he has already won the only battle that mattered. The rest of the day is just walking it out. See it clearly, because what you can picture, you can become. See yourself 3 months from now, on an ordinary morning in the middle of the week. The alarm rings in the dark, and your feet are on the floor before the old voice can even begin its argument. The cold water comes, and you stand in it and breathe, almost smiling, because it has stopped being a battle. You sit, and the stillness comes easily now, like settling into a chair you have sat in 1,000 times. You face the hard thing, and it is done before most people have finished hitting their snooze. By the time the sun is up, you have already lived more of a life than your old self lived in a whole day. And the strangest part is how quiet it all is. No drama, no struggle, just a calm person doing simple things in order, while the fear that used to run his life stands off to the side, ignored, slowly losing its voice. That man is not a fantasy. He is the plain and inevitable result of a few simple mornings, repeated past the point of struggle. That man is not someone else. That man is you, on the other side of a few simple mornings done with discipline instead of dread. The fear does not vanish. Let go of that fantasy. The fear still knocks, but now it knocks on a gate you guard, in a fortress you built before sunrise, and it finds a person who has already faced harder things this morning than anything it can offer. So it lowers its head. It bows, not because it died, but because it finally met someone it cannot rule. And there will be mornings you do not feel like any of it. Mornings when the bed is warm and the dark is heavy, and every part of you wants to stay down. Those are the most important mornings of all. Anyone can do the rituals on the day they wake up inspired. The whole of your strength is built on the days you do them when you feel nothing at all, when there is no motivation anywhere to be found, when the only thing carrying you is the decision you already made. Motivation is a guest that comes and goes as it pleases. Discipline is the house you live in. So you do not wait to feel ready. You rise because it is simply time to rise. You stand in the cold because that is what you do now, who you are now. And every single time you act without the feeling, you forge something in yourself that the feeling could never give you. You become a person who keeps his word to himself no matter what. And there is no fear on this earth that can rule a man like that. He has already faced the hardest enemy there is, the soft and reasonable voice in his own head at dawn, and he has learned to stand up and walk straight past it, and think past the single morning to what these mornings stack into over time. One morning of rising early and facing fear changes a day, but a year of such mornings changes a life beyond recognition. 365 small victories before sunrise, 365 hard things faced while they were still small, 365 times you chose the cold, the stillness, the silence, instead of the warm and frightened default. You cannot do that for a year and remain the same person you are today. The fear that once owned you cannot survive that many quiet defeats. Somewhere in those mornings, without a single dramatic moment to mark it, the balance of power in your own life simply shifts. One ordinary day you will notice that the dread is gone, that you wake clear and ready, that the things which used to terrify you barely lift your pulse. You will not be able to point to the morning it happened, because it did not happen in any one morning. It happened in all of them, one blade stroke at a time. And the people around you will feel it long before you can name it yourself. There is a certain steadiness that settles into a person who has already won his hardest battle by sunrise, and others sense it without knowing why. You stop being the one the chaos pushes around. You become the calm one in the room, the one others quietly steady themselves against when their own fear begins to rise. Not because you grew loud or hard, but because you grew rooted. And you built that root in 100 silent mornings that nobody ever saw. That is the strange gift of this work. It is done entirely in private, in the dark, with no audience and no applause, and yet it slowly reshapes how you move through every public hour of your life. The hidden hour makes the visible man. So do not let this become one more thing you agree with and never do. Agreement changes nothing. Tomorrow morning is the only morning that matters, because tomorrow morning is the only one you can actually choose right now. Tonight, before you sleep, set the alarm 15 minutes early. Put the phone across the room so that reaching it forces you to stand. Decide now, while you are calm and clear, what the one hard thing will be that you face first. Make the choice tonight so that the frightened voice at dawn has nothing left to argue about. The decision is already made. All that remains is to rise and carry it out. That is how you rob fear of its favorite weapon, which was always the negotiation, the maybe, the I will start on Monday. There is no Monday. There is only the next time your eyes open in the dark, and what you choose to do in the first 60 seconds after. Here is the one thing to carry out of all of it. Do not try to fix your life. Just win the first hour tomorrow and let the rest follow. Set the alarm 15 minutes early. Keep the phone dark. Do the small, hard things in the quiet before the world wakes. You do not have to do all 8 tomorrow. You only have to do 1, and then refuse to break it. Pick the ritual that frightened you most as you listened, because that is the one fear most wants you to skip. Begin there. Begin small. Begin in the dark, where no one is watching and everything is decided. The hour you have been losing is the hour that holds your whole life. Take it back tomorrow, and take it back the morning after that, and one quiet dawn at a time you will become the one thing fear can never stand against. A man who rose before it and made it bow.